Okay. Shalom, Israel. This is Sister Kana. And first and foremost, I'd like to give all glory and praise to AHAYAH, AHAYAH, Bahasham Yashaya, Wa Qadash, Rawach. Praise God and happy Day of Atonement, because we're going into the Day of Atonement over here. So I'm just happy. I love this 7th month and the holy days in this month. I just be so excited around this time of the year. I don't know why. I just love it. Praise the higher. But there's a few things that I wanted to talk about, and I, kind of want to go and talk about it and go into some scriptures since it is a holy day and it's a Day of Atonement. So praise the higher for forgiveness of my sins, and I thank him for the being awoke at this time and being, taking me out of Babylon. I'm just so thankful. So praise the higher Yashaya. Okay, I wanted to first talk about, because, today is we're going into the Day of Atonement, praise the higher. And after that, after this fast, I wanted to kind of do the Daniel fast, that 21-day fast that Daniel did, where he ate only fruits and vegetables, and he went to the Most High. So I really feel like I need to do this for one. Now I fast a lot. I get to fast a lot, sometimes more than I like to. It's hard to conflict your flesh a lot, but I try to. And this year I did a lot. I probably fasted this year more than I fasted in my whole, life so far, because, it's just called for it, But in these last couple of weeks, it's been a heat wave here, and I just been eating wrong and just eating and drinking stuff I ain't supposed to be drinking, like sodas and all kind of stuff, because it's been so hot, and I haven't been able to work out. Like 3 weeks, almost a month, I didn't really work out. So I was just like, it was weighing on my spirit. And I still need to fast because there's so much going on right now. Fasting is a must. So the last couple of weeks, I was like, man, I should try that Daniel fast, because it kept coming up like Daniel fast. Now, I personally don't feel like that's like a real fast, because when I fast, I'm used to fasting no food, no water, period. And so then I really feel like I'm fasting. But if I could eat fruits and vegetables, to me, that's not really like I'm fasting, but I am, at least staying away from meats. I'm abstaining from meats, so that is a fast. So I'm gonna try it. So I just wanted to get some feedback from you guys. Have anybody ever done the Daniel fast before? How was it for them? I don't know. To me, I do better when I do strict fasting. Like if I eat nothing, no food, no water, I can go long periods, like 10, 15 days. But when I start drinking water, that makes me hungry. It makes me want to eat. So I don't know what this is going to do. I've done some fasting before, but it'd be like 2 or 3 days, which is, not bad at all. But when you start going to 7 and 10, and, it gets really hard. So I'm going to try it and see how it, if it could work for me, and, go to the Most High and, be talking to the Most High and stuff. So I wanted to talk about that. But I wanted to put out a disclaimer. And this is what I'm going to mainly talk about today. That in no means do I advocate or I ascribe to being a vegan or don't eat meat or anything like that. I don't ascribe to that at all. I don't believe that that's something we should do. And I really believe that Esau is pushing that whole veganism on us and sustaining from meats and all that stuff, because Esau knows that it's against AHAYAH. And I wanted to go into scripture about it and talk to our people and, kind of just pull it out that we are supposed to eat meat. And that whole vegan idea is just wrong, and it's against the Most High. And I'm going to go into it with y'all. Now, in the scriptures, I'm going to go into all the scriptures, that I go into. And then you guys, y'all, of course, y'all can give me y'all feedback on it, because I know a lot of people ascribe to being vegan. And I just be like, every time I be hearing about these people talking about being vegans and we ain't supposed to be eating meat, and the Most High ain't had no intention on us eating meat from the very beginning, I be like, oh my goodness. Like, people really want to overstep the bounds of what the Most High told us to do and just make up their own. They want to make up their own rules. People really want to do what they want to do. And it's like, they don't even care. So we're going to go into scripture. I'm going to go into scriptures today. Ladies, bear with me. Pull out your Bibles. I hope y'all pretty soon y'all will be going into the Day of Atonement as well. So if y'all want to get your books out, because when I had told you guys about I was coming out of Babylon and the Most High sent me to this church before I left Babylon. He sent me to a church that kept the holy days. Now, I didn't know about the holy days at that time. I didn't know about the Day of Atonement, Feast of Trumpets. I was strictly just coming out of Christian Day One church. So I had never even knew that there were holy days in the Bible. So anyway, I was in California. He sent me to this church. This church happened to keep the holy days according to the Bible, what we're teaching now. It was like the last week of September, they kept the Feast of Tabernacles. I'll never forget it, because during that week was when the economy dropped. Like September 30th, it crashed. We had already been in the feast. We was in the Feast of Tabernacles. And so I don't know how this church knew when the correct holy days were, but they were. And I'll never forget it, because the Most High was kind of dealing with me. I was about to leave to go to Israel. He was calling me out. I had to go. And I was like in shock. But when the economy dropped, I knew I had to go. That was the kicker for me, that I was going to go. So this church was keeping it. And the Most High sent me to this church to know about his holy days. This is how I found out about them. And they did a shut-in. What he showed me was they did a shut-in on the Day of Atonement. Everybody came in, nobody left. They all fasted together, the whole church. It was, they all came to the church. They slept in the church. They woke up every third hour, every 3 hours. They woke up, they prayed. They gave their testimonies. They played little games, but every 3 hours. So it started like 9 o'clock, then 12 o'clock, then 3 o'clock, then 6 o'clock, then 9 o'clock. They did the whole, 1 day fast, in that order. And it was amazing. It was such a great testimony. You felt great. And I was so happy to do it. So I just want to share that with you guys, of like what the Most High showed me. And I guess he was showing me on how to keep it, how to keep the feast, because after that, I went to Israel, and then this whole saga started. I met Israelites, because I didn't know about being an Israelite then. Even the church that was there, they wasn't really Israelites. They was keeping the Sabbath, but they wasn't proclaiming like being Israelites. So, I still didn't find out until afterwards, when I was in Israel, and I called GOCC, and then I started to learn about being an Israelite. But the Most High obviously wanted me to learn about them holy days, because I believe that they didn't know about it. He knew I was going to go through what I've been through all these years about these holy days. So I'm not going to go into that, but I do want to say, praise AHAYAH. And I feel like, everything happens for a reason, and the Most High knew this was going to be a task that I was going to go through, and it has been. But I praise to the Most High that it's almost over. AHAYAH, Yashaya, the water. Okay, so now I want us to go into the scriptures about this whole veganism. And I just made a video about the mixed marriages. It's the same thing, like everything that the Most High is against, Esau is pushing, perpetuating in this earth today. And that's how you kind of know is wrong. First of all, we know mixed marriages is abomination against the Most High. So that's a given. But now, you know, even with the veganism, they push it. Nobody wants to eat meat. And I can understand because there's so much going on with the meat, especially in America. But because I didn't eat meat, guys. I didn't eat, I only ate chicken and fish for 20 years of my life in America. I only started eating meat when I came out of Babylon. It's like from something that happened at me, like when I was young, and I was just like, I ain't eating that no more. And I just stopped eating meat, red meat, red meat. I didn't eat beef, and I didn't eat like hamburgers and all that stuff. I wouldn't eat it. And I don't know, I didn't even know why. But when I came out and I was in Egypt and I saw that meat hanging on the thing, the live animal and beef and lamb, and I was like, wow, I could eat that, you know? And then I started eating meat since I've been out of America now, 12 years. So praise the Yashaya. So, and trust, I always thought I wanted to be a vegan. I used to think about being a vegan, but I never could do it. I don't know why I could never become a vegan, but I wanted to. So I'm glad, praise the Higher, that now I know better. So I just want to go into the scriptures about not eating meat and how it's against the Most High. You know, now, although he's not condemning us for it, but it is against the Most High. And I'm going to show you how. Okay, so get your Bibles, ladies and gentlemen, if you care to know. But I know a lot of brothers need to take heed to this, because you know what, I find that a lot of brothers, man, they just be going, but they go off a lot. It's unbelievable how far off brothers can go. And a lot of them are seeking so much knowledge and stuff, and they going into all these other books, and they don't even have the Bible down pat. You know what I'm saying? First, you need to have this Bible down pat before you start venturing off into these other books. I know that you can get a lot of understanding from some of the books that we need to go in, but not all books you need to even be going in. You know, because a lot of these books be having spirits. People be taking on these spirits, and they be operating against the Most High, and they don't even really know it. But anyway, I know I could talk a lot sometimes. So let's go. Let's go. So first, we're going to start in the beginning, like in Genesis. We're going to go right back to Genesis, because most people, and I find that it's usually the people who call on Yah. I tell you, those people who call on Yah, they be on a whole different spirit most of the time. And it's a lot of them who are into this veganism. A lot of them perpetuate that too. But a lot of, people who call on AHAYAH, they all in it too. But it comes out, but you got to understand that they serve a different God. They don't call on AHAYAH. That's another God when you're calling on Yah, first of all. So you serving another God. And it's usually Satan that you're calling on. So he is going to do things against this Bible. And I'm going to show you that, okay? Okay, so let's go to Genesis. Oh, you know what I could do? I could share my screen with you. Hold on. I'm going to do that. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. I'm going to share the screen with you. Can you see this? Oh, I don't have to do all that, do I? Okay, I hope you can see this. Okay, I'm sharing my screen with you, and we're going to go to Genesis 4:1. Okay, let's go to Genesis 4:1. So here we are, and I'm gonna make this bigger. I'm sure I can, so you guys can see it. I don't know if y'all can see that, but I'll make it bigger so you can see. So this is talking about Cain and Abel. Okay, so now this is in the very beginning. Now, I know a lot of Israelites be like, oh, the Most High gave us meat, and it was herbs, and we wasn't supposed to eat meat, and and it's after Adam and them fell that's how. Like as if the Most High don't know what he doing, and, he needs y'all to tell him and remind him what he did and why he did it. See, that's what a lot of people be thinking. They need to tell the Most High why he did stuff and remind him. But okay, we're going to see. So here it is. Okay, granted, it's after Adam and Eve fell, and they had their children, Cain and Abel. Now, already, somehow, some way, Cain and Abel already knew the law of sacrifice. So they had to learn it from Adam and Eve, Okay. And I'm sure after they fell, they were scared to be offending the Most High. So we got to understand that Adam and Eve, although they fell, they ain't trying to offend the Most High. Still, they were scared to death. And when you go into some of the other books, they explain how they were remorseful. They were always crying out. They were fasting a lot. They were trying to get back in the good grace of AHAYAH. So they wasn't really trying to sin, even though they were still being tempted. But okay, let me just finish. Genesis 4:1. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from AHAYAH. And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought the fruit of the ground as an offering unto AHAYAH. So they knew how to bring offerings to the Most High. They came down. Now, this is the first couple of generations, one generation from Adam. So they already knew that they had to bring sacrifices, right? And Abel, he also brought the firstling of his flock and of the fat thereof. And AHAYAH had respect unto Abel and to his offering. So, like at that point, even though Adam and Eve had sinned, the Most High still, if he was all about the herbs, he could have easily took Cain's offering over Abel, because that's what he intended in the beginning. And he never, according to other Israelites, he never intended us to eat meat. He only did that because Adam sinned. Here's a clear opportunity that if AHAYAH wanted herbs, just herbs, he would have clearly took Cain's offering over Abel, right? But what happened? He didn't, right? He had respect for Abel and to his offering, but to Cain and to his offering, he had no respect. He didn't respect Cain's offering of the herbs. Like everybody is so always talking about the meat and the herbs, and that's what the Most High want. And he don't want us to eat the flesh, and he don't want us to take the flesh. Listen, the Most High made a choice. He chose Abel's offering over Cain's offering. So first of all, right there, that should ring a bell to Israelites. That alone should make you think, well, wait a minute. Maybe I'm wrong. Wait a minute. The Most High, he did this. I should follow what the Most High. But no, you got these wicked Israelites who want to think on their own accord instead of going according to the Most High word. Well, okay, but we'll keep it there. So, but look, Cain and to his offering, he had not respect. He didn't respect the herbs and the fruit of the land and all that. And Cain was wroth and his countenance fell. You know why? Because Cain was already wicked. Even before this, he wasn't right in his heart with the Most High. And it's the same thing with these brothers and sisters who be always trying to talk about veganism, eating herbs. They ain't right in the spirit with the Most High. And that's why they so quick to go against what the Most High, examples that the Most High give. But okay, this is just one. So we're going to keep going. Okay, so then now I want to go outside. I want to go to the Book of Jubilees. Okay, let's go to the Book of Jubilees, chapter 6, verse 1. Okay, let me find it. Give me a second, and I will find it for you. Where is it? Is this it? No. I don't know. Wait a minute. Let's see if this is it. No. Okay, I might have to read it out of my Book of Jubilees because I don't have it. Hold on, guys. So it may take me too long. Okay, here I got the Book of Jubilees, okay? And I highlighted it so you guys can see it. And I'll read it really fast. Okay. I can't really see, but hold on. Okay, so this is the Book of Jubilees, chapter 6, verse 1. Okay, and on the new moon of the 3rd month, he went forth from the ark, talking about Noah, and built an altar on the mountain. And he made atonement for the earth, and took a kid and made atonement by its blood for all the guilt of the earth. Now, here we are. talking about Noah, when the Most High destroyed the earth for all the wickedness. This was another ample opportunity for the Most High to decide what he wanted to do with man and how he wanted us to sacrifice to him. Right? Am I fair enough? So he done destroyed everything and only 8 people on the ark, and he tells Noah what to do. Okay, so Noah builds an altar, and he made a blood atonement for all the guilt of the earth, for everything that had been done on it and had been destroyed, save those that were in the ark with Noah. And he placed the fat thereof on the altar, and he took an ox and a goat and a sheep and a kid and salt and a turtle dove. You took some bird too, some chicken too, and the young of the dove, and placed the burnt offering on the altar, and poured thereon the offering, mingled with oil and sprinkled with wine, and strewed frankincense over everything, and caused a godly savior to rise. A goodly savor to arise, acceptable before AHAYAH. And AHAYAH smelt the goodly savor, and he made a covenant with him that there shall not be any more flood to destroy the earth. So because of that sacrifice, that's how the Most High gave the covenant of the rainbow, which is our covenant, which is our sign in the earth that he will not flood, destroy the earth with water. So he instructed Noah how to sacrifice to him, how to give the burnt offering to him, so that it would be pleasing to him. And it was a goodly, sweet savior to the Most High, right? And more, he would any more a flood to destroy on earth. That all the days of the earth, seed time and harvest should never cease. Cold and heat, summer and winter, and day and night shall not change their order, nor cease forever. Forever. So that he made a covenant because of and due to this offering that Noah gave. After he saved the 8 people of the ark, he told him how to, sacrifice to him. And you increase, and then he's going to bless Noah. He said, you increase ye and multiply upon the earth, and become many upon it, and be a blessing upon it. The fear of you and the dread of you I will inspire in everything that is on earth and in the sea. And behold, I have given unto you all the beasts, listen, all the beasts, all winged things, and everything that moves on the earth, and the fish in the waters, and all things for food. For food. This is what the Most High instructed Noah after he destroyed the earth and cleansed it of everything. This was an ample opportunity for the Most High to say, okay, go back to herbs because that's what I initially wanted for you. No, he didn't do that. He said all beasts, all winged things, and everything that moves on the earth, the fish in the waters, and all things for food. Okay? Along with the green vegetables and green herbs, I have given you all things to eat. Okay, so if that ain't enough for y'all, for these Israelites, these hard-headed, stiff-necked Israelites, I'm going to give you some more. Okay. Now we're going to go to Numbers. Yeah, Moses. See, because all that was before Moses. So you can't even blame Moses. You can't even say, oh, the Moses law, the Moses this and the that was all I gave you so far was before Moses. Now we're going to go to Moses. Okay. So let's go to Moses. Okay. So now let me see if I can get it on here. We're going to go back into the Bible. Okay. And I hope you can see this. We're going to go to Numbers 28 and 1. Numbers 28 and 1. Okay? Because everybody like to say, oh, well, he didn't do that intentionally, but I got a little kicker for you after I show you this. Okay. So he's now daily offerings. This is what this is about. Numbers 28 and 1. And AHAYAH spoke unto Moses, saying, command, first of all, the children of Israel, and say unto them, my offering and my bread for my sacrifices made by fire. Did he say herbs? No, he said by fire, first of all. For a sweet savior unto me. He loves it, guys. Shall ye observe to offer unto me in their due season. Okay? For thou shalt say to them, this is the offering made by fire, which ye shall offer unto AHAYAH. 2 lambs for the first year without spot, day by day. What? Every day. Day by day, guys. We're supposed to be eating meat to the Most High. Okay, so all that veganism, no. That's why I said it's against the Most High. And I'm going to show you even more. Okay? 2 lambs of the first year without spot, day by day, for a continual. Just like saying forever. But okay, he said continual burnt offering. Okay? 28:4. The lamb shalt thou offer in the morning, and the lamb that shalt thou offer in the evening. Day and night, he wants a daily offering unto the Most High. AHAYAH. This is what AHAYAH is calling. So I don't know about that Yah God. That's why all of those Yah people are always talking about eating no meat. But in the scriptures, it's telling you you're supposed to have a daily serving of meat, morning and night. It's ironic that all these people are doing this against the Most High. But we're going to go even further. Okay, and a 10th part of an ounce of flour for a meat offering, not no lettuce and tomatoes and no herbs or nothing. He's talking about meat, lamb. He said lamb, right? 4, 1 lamb shall thou offer in the morning, and the other lamb shall offer in the evening. So we ain't talking about herbs. So when I say meat, we're talking about real meat, okay? The 10th part of an ounce of flour for the meat offering, mingled with the 4th part of a hin and beaten oil, is a continual burnt offering, which was ordained in Mount Sinai for a sweet savior, a sacrifice made by fire unto AHAYAH. Okay, I'm going to leave it right there, and you can marinate on that for a few minutes, because this is what he told Moses to do. But he had already had Noah doing it, and Cain and Abel was doing it before that. It was already understood. He just put it in the law with Moses, but they were already doing it. Okay, so that should be enough, right, guys? You would think that would be enough, that the Most High is saying a continual offering day and night of lamb. But okay, so now we're going to go to Romans. Let's go down to Romans and 14:2. And this is why the Most High said this. Okay, he said 14:1. Him that is weak in the faith receive ye, but not to doubtful disputations. Not to doubtful disputations. He says sometimes these people are weak, and so you can't be, being a hindrance or stumbling block for these people, because they believe. That's why I haven't really made any videos about this before, but I've always, kind of understood it. And every time I see people talking about they should be vegan and we ain't supposed to be meat, I'll be just like, oh brother. And sometimes I've said it to people or whatever, but this is the first time I'm really, maybe the second time I'm saying something on video, 14:2. For one believeth that he may eat all things, another who is weak eateth herbs. Now that should tell you right there. I mean, what else do you need to say? Even though the Most High is not even condemning you for it, even though if it's in his law, and he told you what to do and how to do it, he's still not gonna, he's still gonna give you, some leeway, just like he gave Cain, y'all. He didn't destroy Cain, or he just wasn't respecting of it. And that's the same thing he's saying here. He see it as a weakness that you decide, you make the choice not to eat any meat, because he done told you in the law how you're supposed to sacrifice to him. But people are weak, and they fall short, and they be lacking understanding, and there's no discernment. I'm sorry to have to say it like that, but that's what it is. So he said to others who are weak, eateth herbs. So we're not supposed to condemn each other for not doing it, but you should be able to point it out to brothers and sisters and let them know where they are erring, because it's important. Okay, it's very important. The Most High, this is how he told us to sacrifice to him, regardless of what you feel and what you think. Okay, but I'm going to take it even further than this. And then nobody should have nothing to say after this. Okay, let's go to Ezekiel. Ezekiel 40, I think they have Ezekiel 40. And this is, and I'm just gonna go here. It's kind of long, but I'm gonna try to make it as quick as I can, because I don't want to do this too much longer. But praise AHAYAH, Yashaya, Qadash. I hope people are kind of seeing. What happened is that the Most High, I don't even have to talk about it. I'm gonna just read it. Okay, Ezekiel 40:1. In the 5th and 20th year of our captivity, in the beginning of the year, in the 10th day of the month, in the 14th year after that the city was smitten, in the selfsame day, the hand of AHAYAH was upon me and brought me thither. In the visions of AHAYAH brought he me to the land of Israel. So here's Ezekiel getting a vision from AHAYAH. AHAYAH is going to tell Ezekiel what he wants, right? And set me upon a very high mountain, by which was as the frame of the city of the south. He brought me thither, and behold, there was a man whose appearance was like the appearance of brass, with line of flax in his hand, and a measuring reed, and he stood in the gate. And the man said to me, Son of man, behold, with thine eyes and hear with thine ears, and set thine heart upon all that I shall show you, for to the intent that I may show them unto thee art thou brought hither. Declare all that thou seest to the house of Israel. So he's going to show Ezekiel what he wants him to proclaim to Israel. Okay, so that's what this whole passage, this whole part is about. What Ezekiel is shown by the Most High, and what Ezekiel has to proclaim to Israel. Okay, so when you read this, I'm not going to read it all because it's long. He goes and showing him the temple. He's showing him New Jerusalem, and he's giving him the size of the gate, the doors, the building, everything. He's putting out the whole landmass to Ezekiel, how the temple is going to be in New Jerusalem. So we're all talking about going to the kingdom, the new kingdom, praise AHAYAH, where Christ is going to reign 1,000 years. Ezekiel was shown the vision, and he put it on paper. So this is what this whole part is about. Okay, so when you read 40, the whole thing of 40, it gives you the gates, the measurements, the porch, everything, the chambers for the priest. It goes on and on. Read the whole thing, right? The vestibule of the temple. Okay, you go to 41. It talks about the inner court, the gate, the size. I'm just going to go through these chapters quick because I want you to read it on your own accord. Okay, it gives you the side of the temple, all showing Ezekiel what we're going to see in New Jerusalem and how it's going to look and everything, right? Chapter 42, again, it's telling you how many cubics, the size, the wall, how it's going to be, the pillars for the court, everything. The Most High showed it to Ezekiel. He told him how to measure it and everything. Again, going to 43. Okay, the glory of the Lord fills the temple. Okay, and after he brought me to the gate, and even to the gate that looketh toward the east, and behold, the glory of AHAYAH of Israel came from the way of the east, and his voice was like the noise of waters, and the earth shined with his glory. Okay, praise AHAYAH. Okay, most likely it was Christ, right? And he fell upon it. When you go to 43, he said he saw the vision, and I saw by the river Qadash, and he fell on his face, and the glory of the AHAYAH came into the house by the way of the gate. He showed him all of this. So the Spirit took me up and brought me to the inner court, and behold, the glory of AHAYAH filled the house. So, and he heard him speaking to him out of the house, and the man stood by me, okay? And he said to me, Son of man, the place of my throne, the place of the soles of my feet, okay, where I will dwell in the midst of the children of Israel forever. Okay, so this is the most high AHAYAH, because AHAYAH is gonna, after 1,000 years with Christ, AHAYAH is gonna be on the throne, right? Okay, so he's saying, let me read that, Ezekiel 43:7. And he said unto me, man, son of man, the place of my throne and the place of the soles of my feet, where I will dwell in the midst of the children of Israel forever. And my holy name shall be the house of Israel, no more defiled, neither they nor their kings by their whoredom, nor by the carcasses of their kings in their high places. Okay, so I just wanted to read that to let you know this is the Most High giving Ezekiel about his kingdom to come. Okay, now the point of this is I want to go and show you, and I will dwell in the midst of them forever. That's 43:9. And also I'm in the house of Israel for your shame. Okay, let me keep going. Because then when you go down to 13, he starts talking about the altar. Now the altar is where they're going to be built in for what? The sacrifices. When you go down to 43:18, it says, Son of man, thus saith AHAYAH, these are the ordinances of the altar in the day when they shall make it to offer burnt offerings thereon and sprinkle blood thereon. So brothers and sisters, we will be sacrificing. We will keep the sacrifices that he gave to Moses, that Noah did, that Cain and Abel even did. We will do that in the kingdom to come. We will be eating meat. We'll be sacrificing meat to the Most High. It's going to be a sweet smelling savior to him, just like it is now. So brothers and sisters, you better start figuring out how to eat some meat, okay? Because we're going to be eating it in the kingdom. But we're going to bring it. When you go to Ezekiel 43:19, and thou shalt give to the priests, the Levites, that be of the seed of the Zadok, each approach unto me to minister unto me, saith AHAYAH power, a young bullock for a sin offering. So he's telling him exactly how he wants it to be sacrificed to him. These offerings, the same offerings he gave to Moses when he cleansed this earth and he brings the righteous back into Jerusalem to serve him, to be holy to him. We will be sacrificing and eating meat. You got it. Meat, not herbs. We're going to be eating some meat, brothers and sisters. So you need to get all that crap out of your minds. All that veganism is not pleasing to AHAYAH. He told us how to sacrifice to him. Now you can be like Cain if you want to, but he's telling you what he wants, and it ain't going to stop. It's going to be perpetual covenant until a Most High forever. Okay, but I'm gonna read a little bit more. 43:20, Ezekiel 43:20. And thou shalt take the blood thereof and put it on the four horns of it and on the four corners of the settle and upon the border around about, and thou shalt cleanse and purge it. And thou shalt take the bullock also of the sin offering, and ye should burn it into a appointed place of the house without the sanctuary. Okay, so I'm just wanting to go. I must do a little more. And on the second day, thou shalt offer a kid. So we still talking about meat here in the new kingdom, a kid of goats without blemish for a sin offering, and thou shalt cleanse the altar, and they should cleanse it with the bullock. Okay, so when you read all the way that down, he's saying at the end of that, listen, Ezekiel 43:27. And when these days are expired, it shall be that upon the 8th day and so forward, the priest shall make a burnt offering upon the altar for peace offering, and I will accept you. He said, I will accept you, saith AHAYAH, thy power. Okay, we're going to go to 44. He's saying for the gate for the prince. Now, there's a little discrepancy. Is he talking, when he talking about the prince, is he talking about Christ, or is he just talking about other kings that will be, you know, in in the temple doing work as well, along with Christ. But we know whenever he's talking about the prince, he's talking about Christ, all right? But I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. Listen, then he brought me back the way of the gate of the outward sanctuary, which looketh towards the east, and it was shut. And then said AHAYAH to me, this gate shall be shut. It shall be not open, and no man shall enter in by it, because AHAYAH, thy power of Israel, hath entered it in by it. Therefore, it shall be shut. He's saying because this is going to be basically his gate, right? And it is for the prince. I would think he's talking about Yashaya. The prince, he shall sit in it to eat bread before AHAYAH. He shall enter by the way of the porch of that gate, and shall go out by the way of the same. Now it said he shall enter bread, so people can see, oh, he's only going to eat bread. We're going to see what Yashaya or the prince is going to do, because he's going to be sacrificing meat too. Okay. 44:4. Then brought he me the way of the north gate before the house, and I looked, and behold, glory of AHAYAH filled the house of AHAYAH, and I fell upon my face. And AHAYAH said to me, son of man, mark well, and behold with thine eyes, and hear with thine ears all that I say unto thee concerning all the ordinances of the house of AHAYAH, and all the laws thereof, and mark well the entering in of the house with every going forth of the sanctuary. Okay. He said, and thou shalt say to the rebellious, even to the house of Israel, thus saith AHAYAH, O ye house of Israel, let it suffice you all your abominations, because it's been abominable stuff we've been doing, in that ye have brought into my sanctuary strangers, uncircumcised in heart and uncircumcised in flesh, to be in my sanctuary, to pollute it, even my house, when ye offer my bread, the fat and the blood. Yes. And they have broken my covenant because of all your abominations. And ye have not kept the charge of my holy things, but ye have set keepers of my charge in my sanctuary for yourselves. Thus saith AHAYAH power, no stranger, uncircumcised in heart, nor uncircumcised in flesh, shall enter into my sanctuary, of any stranger that is among the children of Israel. So they can't come into the sanctuary. And the Levites that are gone away from me when Israel went astray, which went astray away from me after their idols, shall even bear their iniquity. Okay, praise AHAYAH. So he goes on to talk about the Levites, yet they shall be ministers. Shall be ministers in my sanctuary. So he's still giving the Levites the charge of his ministers, and they will keep the ordinances, having charge at the gates of the house and minister to the house. They shall slay the burnt offerings and the sacrifices for the people, and they shall stand before them to minister. So we're going to keep doing these sacrifices, guys, and that's why we got to come back into the wilderness and go under this law again, because we need to learn how to do the sacrifice correctly. Because some people think they just want to go straight into Israel and they got to bypass this wilderness, where you're going to learn how to serve the Most High. You're going to learn that he wants you eating meat, that he wants you to sacrifice, and you're going to learn everything that Moses learned in order to get into that kingdom. Okay, so that's where it's going. But meat is a part of it, and I just wanted to put that in there. But I had some more, but I don't want to have to read all this stuff. But y'all should take the time to read Ezekiel and at this vision that the Most High gave him, starting at Ezekiel 40 all the way to the end, 48 chapter. Y'all should read that. So you wouldn't be talking about no meat, because when the Most High said there's going to be some meat, how can you fix your face to speak against AHAYAH? Like how? How, Israel? But some of us are so rebellious in the spirit. Everything about us is always going against the Most High. Why? Everything. Oh my goodness. Okay, hold on. Let me just jump down. I'm just going to show you where he gives the rules, starting at 44 and 15. He gives the rules for the Levitical priests so that they'll know exactly what to do. And then we're going to go to 45. he gives the holy district to the prince. Okay, but I'm gonna go past all that. Y'all gotta read that on your own. He gives the portion for the prince. Okay, and starting at 45 and 7, I'm gonna go down because I just want to get to one part, and that just puts the nail in the coffin, and we need to put that up to bed. Okay. Oh, hold on. So when you read 45 starting at 7, it's about for the prince. Now, you know, I always know it's talking about Yashaya, but if it's talking about somebody else, okay. But still, who's ever going to be at the charge, this is for them. And it says, right, 11. Hold on. Concerning the ordinance of oil, hold on. We're just going to go down a little more. Okay. When you go down to Ezekiel 45 and 14, concerning the ordinances of oil, the bath of the oil, you shall offer a tenth of the bath out of the core, which is a homer of 10 baths, for 10 baths are a homer. And one lamb out of the flock, 200 out of the fat pastures of Israel, for a meat offering, and for a burnt offering, and for a peace offering, to make reconciliation for them, saith AHAYAH. This is the priest, this is the prince, this is what he has to do, the prince, okay? And all the people of the land shall give their oblations for the prince in Israel, okay? Who is that for? Yashaya. And it shall be the prince's part to give burnt offerings, a meat offering, a drink offering, in the feast, and in the new moons, and in the Sabbath, and all the solemnities of the house of Israel. He shall prepare the sin offering, and the meat offering, and the burnt offering, and the peace offering, to make reconciliation for the house of Israel. Thus saith AHAYAH, in the first month, in the first day of the month, thou shalt make a young bullock without blemish, and cleanse the sanctuary. Okay, and so then the priest shall take the blood. So they're going to do what they're supposed to do, right? So here we go. We're going to be offering. Then he goes into 45:21, the first month, on the 14th day, we still want to do sacrifices of all the feasts, Passover, Tabernacles, Feast of Weeks, all of them. We still going to end. It's not going to stop, guys. We're going to have meat offerings throughout our generations. Let me go to Ezekiel 36. Hold on. The prince and the feast. Then it goes on to the prince and the feast. Okay, it's a long, guys, but y'all, I want y'all to read this. I'm gonna read a little bit. Let me see if I gotta read up to. Okay, let me try. Okay, so let's start at 46 and 1. Thus saith AHAYAH power, the gate of the inner court that look towards the east shall be shut the 6 working days, but on the Sabbath it shall be open. In the day of the new moon it shall be, and in the day of the new moon it shall be open. So on the Sabbaths and the day of the new moon, and the prince shall enter by the way of the porch of the gate without, and shall stand by the post of the gate, and the priest shall prepare his burnt offering, okay, and his peace offering, and he shall worship at the threshold of the gate. Then he shall go forth, but the gate shall not be shut until evening. Likewise, the people of the land shall worship at the door of the gate before AHAYAH in the Sabbath and in the new moons. Excuse me. And the burnt offering that the priest shall offer unto AHAYAH in the Sabbath day shall be 6 lambs without blemish, and a ram without blemish. The meat offering shall be an imph of a ram, and the meat offering for the lambs as he shall be able to give, and an hin of oil to an imph. Okay, that's on the Sabbath. And in the day of the new moons, he shall be a bullock without blemish, 6 lambs and a ram, and they shall be without blemish. Okay, and he shall prepare a meat offering, an imph of a bullock, and an imph of a ram, and the lamb according to his hand shall attain unto, and a hin oil unto an imph. And when the prince shall enter, he shall go in by the way of the porch of that gate, and he shall go forth by the way thereof. When the people of the land shall come before AHAYAH in a solemn feast, he that entereth in by the way of the north gate to worship shall go out by the south gate, and he that entereth by the south gate shall go out by the north gate, and he shall enter by the way of the gate whereby he came in, he should go out over against it, basically. And the prince in the midst of them, when he go in, shall go in, and when they go forth, shall go forth. Praise AHAYAH. Okay, hold on. And in the feast, in the solemnities, the meat offering shall be an imph and a bullock and an imph of a ram and into the lamb as he is able to give in the hands of oil into the imph. Okay, so I just want to give you that just to show that we will be sacrificing. And that was just talking about the feast day. But he will also, listen to this, 46 and 13. Thou shalt daily, this is every day, daily, this is where I want to get to. This is the kicker. Prepare a burnt offering unto AHAYAH, a lamb of the first year without blemish. This is the same offering he gave to Moses in Numbers 28. We're going to keep doing the same laws. The Most High is not going to change. It's not going to be no different. So all that veganism is against AHAYAH. You got to know it. You got to know, just because he ain't killing y'all dead on the spot, you got to know that he is against it, because he's putting it in the law exactly what he wants. So if you're going against it and trying to come up with your own excuses out your own mind, it's wicked. Why is it so hard for Israel not to do what the Most High just say do? Okay? Thou shalt daily prepare a burnt offering unto AHAYAH of a lamb of the first year without blemish. Thou shalt prepare it every morning. Every morning, guys. And thou shalt prepare a meat offering for it every morning, the sixth part of an imph and the third part of a hin of oil to temper with the fine flour. The meat offering continue by a perpetual ordinance unto AHAYAH. We supposed to eat meat, y'all. We supposed to do it. It's a perpetual ordinance. He said, keep my laws, my statutes, my ordinances, my judgments. And guess what, y'all? It ain't grievous. It ain't grievous. Thou shalt prepare a meat offering for it every day. Thus, 46 and 15, thus shalt thou prepare the lamb and the meat offering. So not just lamb, meat too, guys. And the oil every morning for a continual burnt offering. Continual, guys. And then it goes on, thus saith the AHAYAH, if the prince give a gift unto any of his sons. That's why if some of y'all may say, oh, man, he ain't talking about Christ there. Fine. I'm just saying it's a continual, a perpetual. And the Most High said forever. Okay? So that whole not eating meat, veganism, you could throw that crap out the window. It's against the Most High. And I'm sure you don't want to do nothing against AHAYAH. I'm sure you don't want to offend AHAYAH. So brothers and sisters, get yourselves together. We got to get it together, y'all. We got to come right with the Most High. I mean, we're doing so many things against the Most High. The mixed marriages, all this abomination. We have to get right before the Most High. Come to him with a sweet smelling Savior until his nostrils. Try to come right to the Most High. So he ain't got to purge you in this wilderness. A lot of people going to be purged. Why? Because of these type of things. He will consider rebelling against his law. It's in the law, guys. Why make up some other stuff and act like, oh, Christ ain't eat me and all this old stuff? Why? Where do y'all come up with that? You know why? Because you're going into them books. I told y'all to stay out of them books. The 12, the wicked 12. Them books ain't for you. Stop it. Get the Bible right first. Get the Bible down pat. This stuff is right in the Bible. You ain't even get this down pat. You ready to go and jump here into this book and talk about, No, brothers. It's wickedness to the Most High. It's wickedness to the Most High. And now when you go even further into 40, he's talking about the boiling places for offering. He even talking about boiling some meat. Boiling some meat, y'all. He not only gonna bake it, he gonna boil it, he gonna fry it with some oil. We're gonna be doing that. We're gonna be eating meat. So all y'all brothers and sisters, I know some people are weak, and I ain't trying to like disrespect y'all or nothing like that, but you got to put it where it is. He said, for those who are weak, prefer herbs. But it ain't, that's not the way he wanted to be. He had every opportunity to change it at several different times. Somebody's calling me, but okay, guys, I'm going to say praise AHAYAH. Hope you're having a blessed day of atonement. Please meditate on these scriptures if you one of those vegans. And all right. And I'm just gonna say shalom. Okay. Bless you. Mwah.